What's up, YouTube? It's orginalsin 2014, and this is a DVD request from WWE G86. Wanted me to review the entire 2000 year of WCW. I'm going to go ahead and start out with this one. This is WCW Slamboree 2000. I know we all know the main event, but here's to it. This event was in May 7, 2000 up at the Kempler Arena, which... And here is the card. Okay, the matches will start out. Chris Candido defeated the Artist to retain the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. It's kind of weird watching Chris Candido's stuff, even though after the fact he passed away not so long ago. Candido pinned him with a flying with a diving headbutt, which was kind of cool. Then we go on to the next match, which is Terry Funk versus Norman Smiley and Ralphus in a handicap hardcore match for the WCW Hardcore Championship, and that was your typical WCW hardcore matches back then. Let's see. I said, honestly, I wasn't too fan of the hardcore matches in WCW, because to me they were just ripping off WWE. Funk retains the WCW Hardcore Championship. Okay, next thing we go to Shawn Stasiak against Curt Hennig, which actually was, if I remember correctly, this is one of his last matches in WCW before he left. Shawn Stasiak was doing the Mr. Perfect thing, kind of insulting Curt Hennig, but he pinned him with a fisherman suplex. And then next we go to, this is a match for the WCW United States title, which is Scott Steiner against General Reaction. And Scott Steiner won with the Steiner recliner as usual, but not a bad match. I thought he would win, but then we go on to the next one, which is Mike Awesome against Canyon, which they really didn't even get into the match too much because there was just too much interference from Kevin Nash and Vampiro, Shane Douglas, Ric Flair, and Sting. Just the match was declared no contest. So then we go to the total package, Lex Luger against Buff Bagwell. I guess they'd been having a rivalry going on for a while, then, because they were tag team partners after a while. But anyway, the total package made him submit with the torture rack. Then after the match, it came out, Chuck Colombo comes out and attacks him and puts him in the torture rack, which I thought was kind of funny. Then they had another build-up match, which was Shane Douglas against Ric Flair. I guess those two they'd had a rivalry for a very long time in the business, not necessarily in WCW. Shane Douglas pinned Ric Flair after his own son hit him with a bat. And then we go to one of my favorite matches of one of them, and their rivalry I think started at Spring Stampede, which is Sting versus Vampiro, and Sting won the contest after a Scorpion Death Drop and whatnot. But let's see here. Then we go to Hulk Hogan against Billy Kidman, and Eric Bischoff is the special guest referee. And at that time, Kidman and Hulk Hogan were developing one big rivalry because, out of respect, Hulk Hogan pinned Kidman after he went through a table. So then we come on to the main event, and which is the Ready to Rumble cage match, which David Arquette was defending the WCW title. It was held up against Diamond Dallas Page and Jeff Jarrett, which it was actually a really cool concept at the time. It was nothing like the Tower of Doom that they had in the early '90s. It was just stop fight all over the match. It was two layers, and Canyon came out to help DDP out, but he ended up getting his ass thrown off the cage. Second part of the cage by Mike Awesome and just went, and it was just kind of a sick landing. David Arquette turned on DDP and smashed him in the head with a guitar, and Jeff Jarrett won the WCW title. All in all, Slamboree was a kind of a cool concept. It's just I think it could have been executed a little bit better. I'd recommend it, for the collection, Next up, then we go to this one right here, and this is WCW The Great American Bash 2000. This was June 11, 2000. We'll go ahead and start out with this one right here. This was the last Great American Bash before WCW closed. Well, actually, the last WCW Great American Bash, let's put it that way. And this was June 11, 2000. Then the matches go like this. Lieutenant Loco defeated the Disco Inferno to retain the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. It wasn't a bad match, it was cool and all. Corporal Cajun interfered in the match and Cajun leg sweep and whatnot. But then we go on to Chronic, which was actually, I thought, was one of the better tag teams in WCW. Defeated the Mamalukes, Big Vito and Johnny the Bull. They automatically became the #1 contenders for the WCW Tag Team Championships, which we later cashed in. I think it was at New Blood Rising. Mike Awesome defeated Diamond Dallas Page. Sorry if I'm speeding this up, I'm running out of time here. In an ambulance match. Then we go G.I. Bro, which was actually Booker T defeated Sean Stasiak in a boot camp match. Sean Stasiak couldn't get up after the 10 count. Basically, it was kind of like a last man standing. Then Shane Douglas defeated The Wall in the best of 5 tables match. And Douglas put The Wall through a 3rd table to win the match. Then we go on to the Asylum match, which was Scott Steiner defeated Rick Steiner and Tank Abbott. It was a handicap. Scott Steiner forced Tank Abbott to submit with the Steiner recliner, of course. Then we have another match. It was Hulk Hogan against Kidman. And Hulk Hogan won it slipping on a pair of brass knuckles. This is a retirement match, actually. He won it and became the #1 contender for the WCW title. Then we go into another match, another retirement match. Is Ric Flair facing his son David Flair, and he won by submission with the figure 4 leg lock. If Ric Flair had lost, he would have had to retire. Then we go to, this was one of my favorite matches, I personally thought, which is Vampiro and Sting in the Human Torch match, which is actually their version of the Inferno match, but I thought that this could have been done a little bit better. Watching Sting fall off the their Titantron on fire, which was kind of cool, but anyway, then we go on to the main event, which is Jeff Jarrett and Kevin Nash. Jeff Jarrett, it was okay. It's just they had Jeff Jarrett won, pinning Nash after Goldberg speared Kevin Nash, which actually was the start of his heel turn, which I thought was a stupid idea. But all in all, I'd recommend the Great American Bash 2000. I thought it was a good pay-per-view, honestly, and too bad it was one of the last ones from WCW. Okay, this is part 1 of a 3 series, so wait for my next one. Original Sin 2014, and I'm out.